Even though par 3s are the shortest holes on the course, they can often be scorecard wreckers. We're here at Celtic Manor with Jack Backhouse to find out how you can improve your scores on par 3s. So statistically, par 3s are one of the hardest holes to score on. What can people do to try and make them a little bit easier?
So there's a few things I think that amateurs and higher handicappers, let's say, don't do right on par 3s. And the first one is just analysing the shot in front of you. So I think people stand on a par 3, they pull out an iron and sort of straight away they're relieved that this is an easier shot than having to hit a drive with hazards and all that sort of stuff. Like in front of us here, we've got 145 yards, we've got a bunker short left, we've got a bunker short right. It looks a bit uphill to me, but ever so slightly. We're hitting into what feels like at least a 2-club wind. I don't think amateurs do a great job of judging the wind. Definitely always underplaying it in my mind. Just having a look and sort of thinking, well, if I was going to miss this green, where would I want to miss it? The pin's on the right, there's a bunker on the right. I definitely probably don't want to go in that bunker because I'm going to be left with like a raise, out of a deep bunker onto a green that then slopes down away from you with basically no green to work with. So the chances of me getting up and down there are really small. So really by now there's like 4 or 5 things I've just sort of gone through that factor into choosing the right club. Just standing on the tee and thinking about it a little bit better goes a long way. If I was stood at 144, I'd hit a 9-iron, but now I'm thinking, well, I need to hit a 7-iron. I need to definitely get over the bunker on the left, because I'm going to play away from the bunker on the right. So do I need another club? It's really windy. If it gusts, am I going to end up short? There's quite a lot to think about, and it sounds complex, but I think the longer you play for and the better golfer you get, you do all those sort of things automatically. You just know what a 2-club wind feels like, don't you? But you don't really have to think about it as much. You see the elevation, you go, yeah, that looks like 1 more or 1 less or whatever. So I think just sort of, you got bags down. It's windy enough to blow the bag over and the camera's gone. Get in. I was rambling there. I think the camera just saved me. The way I've just described that is like you need like some sort of like maths degree, and that isn't the case, is it? It's just, I think as like an amateur, you almost need like a checklist, like a pre-shot checklist. Where's the wind? What's the slope? Where's the pin? Where's the danger? And after you've made that, trying to take your emotions out of it and just like go, this is the right place to aim. Based on that, I need to hit this club and just sort of go from there.
I guess the next point is if you decided this is playing like 165, do you actually know what club you hit 165?
Yeah, absolutely. Amateur players, or certainly people turn up for a lesson, how far do you 7-iron? Oh, 170. So, all right, okay. And then I watch them at 10 7-irons and maybe one gets to 168, but the worst is at 132, and then the average is more like 155. As an amateur, if you know you're not going to strike the ball well every time, now you can get like irons like these that are really forgiving and will give you a much sort of tighter front to back dispersion, but generally you need to be playing to your average. So going to a range that's got like a top tracer, or going to senior pro and hiring the launch monitor just to do like a club gapping session to figure out not only what does your best do, but more importantly, what does your average do.
Now, once we've sorted out distance, what would you do about like pin positions?
Everyone thinks like the Tiger Woods, don't they? And they all want to, well, I've got a chance at a hole-in-one, or it's a par 3, I can make birdie. But just like any other shot, well, even not any other shot, but any other game of golf you've ever had, the chances of you hitting it exactly where you're going to aim are slim to 0, no offence. But, so what you've got to sort of imagine, is you're going to hit 100 balls here from 145, and they're going to end up in 100 different locations, either on the green or missing the green. So we're not like just shooting lasers at the flags. We can't aim at flags, I think is probably the long and the short of it, unless it's like middle pin, middle left and right, middle long and short.
Yeah, I guess it's just deciding like where the worst misses and playing away from that. So even if you don't end up on the green, you've got like an easy attempt to get up and down.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like long of this green, there's like a hazard. Short of it, to be honest, it doesn't look like there's anywhere really that good to miss this green.
But the pin is at the front, so we do have a bit of room past it to play like to the middle and back segment of the green.
Yeah, so we can go long of the flag, and we definitely need to take enough club to get over the traps. You probably would be erring on the side of more club to this particular shot, but you know, just as a general whole, unless the flag's right in the middle, you know, you shouldn't be aiming at a flag. You know, or if you can give yourself 10 yards left or right of the pin, depending on where the worst side of the green to miss is, then that would be where I would start. Now, I think as a better player, you can probably dial that in, you know, a little bit here and there, but you know, middle of the green usually is a great shout on pretty much every green, certainly for like an amateur player.
So if you were trying to hit it left of this flag, would you be moving where you've put the ball down on the tee to kind of get your body aligned in the right
definitely.
place?
So we've got like a cross, you know, into, you know, the wind's into but slightly off the left. The main bit of trouble that we're trying to avoid is on the right. So what I would be doing is moving my ball over to the right half of the tee, just to sort of make me feel like I'm going to play away from the right side of the green. Now, would that mess, you know, if you're a fader, would that make you fade it more? Maybe. I think by moving over to the left side of the green, the tee, the right side of the tee, that almost opens up more of the left side of the green, where some people who might peg it up over here, I feel like I've completely blocked myself off from the left side and I'm now have to aim straight at it, which we know is the wrong thing to do now. The tees will always point at the green, hopefully if the greenkeepers know what they're doing. Anytime you can set up on one side to play to the fat part of the green, that would be like way better, just because it takes some of that temptation of banging it at the flag away from it. You know, you've got to try and, it's really tempting to aim at the flag, isn't it? Because you want to make a hole in one, you think it's there, you think today's the day, but you know, it's probably not. Well, it's definitely not. Well, not definitely, but you know what I mean. So you've got to use these angles to your advantage if you can.
Now, I noticed you've got the ball teed up pretty high. Would you want players to tee the ball up, or would you want them to put it on the ground?
I categorically never, ever want people to just throw the ball down on the ground. Having the ball on a tee is an advantage, and it would seem daft not to use it. So we've all played with that guy who walks onto the tee, looks really cool, you know, knocks the grass back and just puts the ball down. Then, you know, he's a great ball striker, so thumps it onto the green. And that's really cool if you're good. If you get the option to tee it up, you have to do it. It just makes so much sense. If I'm hitting into a wind like this, I'll tee it up almost even higher. Because for me, I feel like that encourages me to hit down on it a bit more and like just trap it a bit harder to keep it lower. So I generally like people to tee it up quite high. I think if you think about what the sort of bad shots that golfers hit, it's usually thin, topped shots, fat shots, and the higher you tee it, generally certainly with an iron, generally the more likely you are to at least hit it in the air, get it down towards the green, as opposed to fatten it just in front or knifing it. Just do the right thing, peg it up, and take every advantage you've got. Love that. Oh, that is so good, isn't it?